we're going to solve for the value of x from this radical equation. We are given that square root of 2 multiplied by x, which is equal to square root of 2 into square root of x. Then we are asked to solve for the value of x that will satisfy this equation. The first thing we are going to do, if you look at both the left and the right hand side of this equation, you can see that we have square root. So we need to remove the square root by square both sides of the equation. So we're going to square the left hand side and also we square the right hand side, so that this square can eliminate this square root. So in the left hand side we are left with just 2x, which is equal to, then this square is going to cancel this square root. We are going to left with just 2 then square root of x. So the next thing we are going to do, if you look at this equation, we have 2 here and also 2, so we can cancel the 2, or we just divide both sides by 2, so that this 2 can cancel this 2. We are left with just x is equal to, then these 2 also cancel these 2, so we are going to have only square root of x in the right hand side. So if you look at this equation again, the right hand side, there is square root also, so we need to cancel the square root. To cancel the square root, we need to square both sides of the equation. So we square the right hand side, and remember, in an equation, anything you do to one side, you must also do to the second side in order to balance the equation. So we also square the left hand side, so that this square is going to cancel this square root. Then x to power 2 is the same as x squared, which is equal to, here we are left with only x, since the square root have cancelled the square, so we left with only x. So the next thing we are going to do is to take this variable x to the left hand side. So we are going to have x squared, when this positive cross to the other side become negative x, which is going to be equal to 0 because there's nothing in the right hand side. Right now, if you look at the left hand side of this equation, x squared minus x, you can see that x is common. X is here and also x is here, so we're going to factor out x. So when we factor out x, we are going to have x open bracket, x squared divided by x is to remain only x, then minus x divided by x is going to be minus 1, so which is going to be equal to 0. So as you can see, x is multiplying this bracket, and when two terms multiply itself to be 0, you said that one of them is 0, but we don't know which one is 0 out of these two terms. So we're going to equate the first one to be 0, or the second one to be the second one, which is x minus 1, to also to be 0. Now this is the first value of x, x is equal to 0. To get the second value of x, we are going to take this negative 1 to the right hand side of this equation, and when we do that, the negative is going to change to positive 1. So this is the second value of x. So this is the two value of x that will satisfy this equation. But mind you, whenever you solve a radical equation and you notice that you have more than one solution, you need to plug in your solution into the original equation to see that whether the left hand side satisfy whether the left hand side will be the same as the right hand side. Now we are going to check. To check, we are going to first copy the original question. And if you look at the original question, is square root of 2x equal to square root of 2 into square root of x. So we're going to copy the original equation. So we're given that square root of 2x, which is equal to square root of 2 into 2 into square root of x. Now, the first solution at x equal to 1, at x1 is equal to 0, which is the first value of x that we got. Now when we plug in 0 here, we are going to see that square root of 2 multiplied by 0 is going to give us 0, which is equal to square root of, when we plug in 0 here, square root of 0 is the same as 0, 2 multiplied by 0 is the same as 0, so everything is going to be 0. And when you take the square root of 0, 0 is the same as 0, so therefore we can say that the first solution will satisfy the equation. Now let's see the second solution, x2, at x equal to 1. If we plug in 1 to this original equation, you are going to see that when we plug in 1 here, it's going to be square root of 2 multiplied by 1 is the same as 2, which is equal to square root of 2. Then when we plug in 1 here, square root of 1 is the same as 1, then 1 multiplied by 2, which is the same as 2. So square root of 2 is the same as square root of 2. Now we can conclude that these two solutions, x equal to 0 and 1, satisfy this radical equation. Thank you for watching.